Hello, welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. All right, so we've got a Doctor Who theory. I got a little bit too deep with this, and then I realized I perhaps was heading down the wrong route, but hear me out. Okay, so we are talking about Jinx Monsoon's character, Maestro. There was an article released that said that she was essentially a pantheon of gods. And I was like, "Oh, Greek gods, yay!" But okay, so just hear me out. Subscribe to my channel. Let's read the article first. All right. So here we go. It is I don't even know if this is going to confirm my theory. It might do. I had this theory that Jinx got summoned by the actual devil's chord played on the piano um, in her upcoming episode. That's how I theorized. That's what I theorized. All right. So Doctor Who showrunner talks Pantheon of Gods. In an interview with Radio Times, Doctor Who showrunner RTD revealed that Maestro, a music-based villain played by Jinx Monsoon, in the second episode of the 2024 series, The Devil's Court has godlike powers. She's part of this pantheon of gods with enormous powers. I think Doctor Who is all the more exciting when the enemy is impossible to beat. And this is someone changing all of time and space around them. Davies also spoke of a mysterious creature, an enemy in episode 4, 73 Yards, that's impossible to describe. As we've seen from the Duchess, transformation in the trailer, there's a race of bird creatures in the sixth episode Rogue. There are also different designs, different makeups, Davies explains to RT. Doctor Who starring Ncuti Gatwa. Okay, and then it goes on to talk about the release. All right, so this was this article was released by Cult Box, and I was like, oh, Greek gods. And, you know, I was thinking Greek gods, what kind of Greek gods would be like Jinx Monsoon's character, Maestro? So I did some digging and I went through and I read the characteristics, and now I might be completely wrong here. So the one that I came up with was Ares or Mars, and I thought perhaps this could be a potential forerunner of or something similar, so to speak. And this Romano British statuette shows Mars, the god of war, fully decked out in his characteristic armor, missing the original spear and shield he would have once held. That's the picture there that you see on the screen. You can recognize Mars or Ares by his armor, weapons, usually a spear and a shield, and the god is sometimes accompanied by a boar or a vulture. The son of Zeus and Hera, Ares, Mars' Greek counterpart, was the god of bloodlust and violent warfare. His half-sister, Athena, represented the more noble aspects of civil conduct during war. So that was that. And then I remembered, oh, but we also have Egyptian gods as well to consider, which, as I went and had a mosey on up, found there was over 2,000. So I looked up gods of music in ancient Egypt, and I think it's pronounced I, Hathor, and Bes. Okay, could be wrong. So I got a music and Lord of Sistrum. The Lord of Vibration, Sistrum player, was an Egyptian god associated with music. The exact meaning of his name is debated by scholars. Some believe that he's a Sistrum player or a musician, while others hold the view that his name could also mean calf. So that, you know, and he's often depicted with a calf's head. Hathor, the erotic connection of Sistrum, female deity, goddess of fertility, music, and dancing. This is an enemy, so perhaps not this particular god. And let's go down a little bit more. And Bes was the multi-instrumentalist dwarf god. And obviously Jinx is not a little person. So can't be that. And then I was like, what about the god of death in Egyptian? Okay, and it says Osiris. I think I've said that correctly. One of the Egyptians' most important deities was god of the underworld. He also symbolized death, resurrection, and the cycle of Nile floods that Egypt relied on for agricultural fertility. According to the myth, he was a king of Egypt who was murdered, dismembered, and his brother Seth. His wife, Isis, reassembled his body and resurrected him, allowing them to conceive a son, the god Horus. He was represented as mummified king, wearing wrappings that left only the green skin of his hands and face exposed. And then that got me thinking, okay, the name Osiris is something that I've heard something similar in Doctor Who before. And if we go to SUTEKH, now on the sense sphere, we were theorizing that perhaps SUTEKH was returning, and Tom Baker series had SUTEKH, and sorry, I'm like so excited right now. I can barely talk. And RTD said that there was a Tom Baker character returning. SUTEKH, the Destroyer. He was an Osirian. I think I pronounced that correctly. Who planned to destroy all life in the universe. He feared all forms of life, which might one day challenge his hegemony, and so became the destroyer of all living things. Beyond that, he believed his acts of destruction freed those he killed from the tyranny of hope and choice instead of delivering them with certainty of death. He was imprisoned, trapped inside a force field that paralyzed him. Wow. Like, that's insane. And then we go over to the Osirians, and they were a race of powerful and intelligent humanoids of god-like power who were worshipped by many cultures across the universe, including on Earth in ancient Egypt. TV brackets pyramids of Mars. Their civilization was known as the Osirian court. They were said to be almost as powerful as one of the great houses. So long as SUTEKH defended the court, the actual great houses even feared the Osirians, to the point that the court was functionally a great house unto itself, holding uneasy diplomatic relations with the other houses instead of being part of the homeworld's dominions. Ultimately, SUTEKH went rogue, engaging on a futile quest to reduce all of the universe to dust. Now, they mentioned dust, I believe, in the trailer, if my memory serves me correctly. And they imprisoned SUTEKH on Earth, where he would later be encountered by the Fourth Doctor for the first time, being by then one of the last survivors of his species, albeit not quite the last. Well, mind blown. Have I solved it? Of course, we figured that SUTEKH was coming back, and I I don't know if people have actually theorized that this race was coming back to Doctor Who. I'm probably not the first. I'm sure that people have actually worked it out. But there you go. What do you think? What do you think? SUTEKH's minion. I mean, it's like obvious, isn't it? Is it really obvious now? I don't know. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. So there you go. I don't really know what else to say. What do you think? Subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.